What's going on, guys? Welcome in to Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and we just saw some BTA in the second half for your Seahawks. 37-9 victory over the Atlanta Falcons, and for the fourth time this year, the Seahawks have put up over 30-plus points in one half. And I'll tell you right now, when it comes to how I feel about this game, a win is a win. It was not pretty at the beginning. I didn't love how the offense looked defensively. Your team stood on its head and put you in a position to where the offense could start off slow. But what matters most is that you won. You won. And the offense really got it going in the second half. Rasheed Shaheed had a big game. Sam Darnold kind of turned around. JSN was JSN. And we'll get into all of that here in just a moment. But before we do, you love Seahawks victories. I love Seahawks victories. Come on in and like the video if you love back-to-back Seahawks victories. That's 3 in a row. It's almost been a month since the last Seahawks loss. Help us out. Come on in and like the video. So, we are going to dive into the team stats for the Seahawks and the Falcons, starting with the good guys first. You see a decent amount of pass yards there from Seattle with over 200. Most of that is coming in the second half. You started off very slow. Sam Darnold, I felt like, struggled early on finding who the open man was. Going up against a defense in the Atlanta Falcons that they were able to get a decent amount of pressure on him early. It felt like in the rushing attack as well, there were things that Seattle could have taken advantage of. There were big gains early. There were big gains late. But it felt like in that middle chunk, there wasn't a whole lot of consistency. Now, the time of possession did eventually go back Seattle's way, but that's because you were able to force a lot of turnovers from that Atlanta Falcons crew. I think that Seattle, look, you can blame some of it on being on the East Coast, a little bit slower start. But they need to come away with a better performance early, especially if you're going to be playing early games in the playoffs. Now, it is red pen time. I do have to ask the question to y'all. Grade the Seahawks performance for today. Was it A, B, C, D, or F worthy? I'll tell you right now, I'm going to cheat a little bit. It was an A-worthy performance by the defense. Great job. Devon Witherspoon, Nick Emmanwori, oh my goodness. We're going to dive more into him, but holy cow. That defensive line, great game by them. Offensively, I think he ended up working it over to about a B plus, like a low B plus. But I'll tell you right now, the beginning of that game left a real sour taste in my mouth. I hate that the Seahawks have started slow back-to-back games. But you let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about the team down below in the comments. So we look at the rest of the stats for the Falcons. Obviously, not a whole lot doing there for them. The passing attack was non-existent. The rushing attack was only good because of Bijan. I mean, shoot, at one point, I think Bijan had 90% of the yards by the Falcons. And I'm talking about this like as we're closing in on halftime. Like halftime. So, don't get me wrong. I felt like the Falcons did a halfway decent job of coming in with a game plan to attack this defense. Mike McDonald then countered and had a better game plan to fix what the Falcons were doing well, and then that was it. There was no counter punch. Once the Seahawks defense could really pin their ears back, that's when you saw Kirk Cousins really struggle to throw the football, and you saw a lot more turnovers for Kirk Cousins and for this Atlanta Falcons team. This defense is special. It's one of a kind. You held the Falcons to 1 of 13 from the third down. On third down, 1 third down was converted. It's pretty damn impressive. We're going to dive into my 4 key takeaways here in just a moment, but I need to let you know about this insane deal going on right now over at chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. Emerald City football. It's a sweet t-shirt. You got the nice little color change going there. It's not just, Seattle Seahawks. It is Emerald City football, and you're going to get a chance to wear it a lot this year. Seahawks team, they are going to win a lot of football games and be playing late into December and January. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your Seahawks gear. It's the holiday season. Perfect time to snag it. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. Chatsports.com/Seahawks shirt. All right. the first key takeaway for me, you can't start slow. Now, were you able to kind of work through this, get around it? Yeah, of course. But there is no reason why the Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks should be tied at 6-all going into halftime. Now, you got saved by a couple other players and the offense finally waking up. But this slow start can't happen when you're playing the Rams. If you start slow against the Rams, they will beat you. We've seen it happen before. They took advantage of the mistakes that you made in that game, and they beat you. We need to start fast because it's only going to help things go the Seahawks' way. Seahawks starting fast, not just defensively, but offensively too, can help put away teams right at the beginning of the game. Now, the next issue that the Seahawks had, offensively. Sam Darnold did not have a good game in Atlanta. Now, the final stat line looks a little bit better when you look at it here. It's a little bit better. 250, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Hey, that's not bad. There was a point in time where he was 3 for 7, and he threw a bad interception on a 3rd and 1 that he could have ran for. He could have flipped the ball off to Kenneth Walker, and instead he tried to fit it into a tight window to Elijah Arroyo, and it was incomplete. Now, Darnold calmed himself down. He figured it all out, but you can't have another first half like that from Darnold. Maybe Raheem Morris in Atlanta, they were bringing more blitzes. They were dialing up more pressures. They were getting pressure in Darnold's face and got him sacked a couple of times. Maybe they learned a little bit from what Brian Flores was doing with the Minnesota Vikings. And hopefully Clint Kubiak and Sam Darnold, they figured out what the counterpunch needs to be. But I'll tell you right now, that can't keep happening because teams are copycats in this league. And if one team finds success against you, imagine what the other teams are going to do. Imagine what Shula's going to do in round 2. Imagine what Robert Saleh is going to do in round 2. Can't happen. Those are 2 must-wins for the Seahawks. Rasheed Shaheed is maybe the most explosive player I've seen in Seattle since Percy Harvin. Like, even Devin Hester at the very end, like, yeah, he was explosive, but we saw, like, the tail end of Devin Hester. Rashid Shaheed, look at this stat line. I mean, it finally felt like he woke up a little bit. He had a couple of big catches, a nice 33-yard catch. He had another one that was close to about 20 yards in this matchup. He had a quick 5-yard out that Seattle went to him on a 3rd down, so you know you can go to him. He's clutch, sure-handed. And to start the second half, had that kick return that basically jump-started the Seahawks offense and woke the team up in general. Rashid Shaheed is special. He's special, and this is why you brought him here. But it felt like early on, Clint Kubiak, Rashid Shaheed, Sam Darnold, they only used him on one route, that go route, that vertical route, and then that would open things up for JSN. Well, teams started saying, well, hey, JSN, he's going to be that medium route. Well, we'll just sit on JSN. Now they're starting to use Rashid Shaheed as that medium route and sending JSN on that deep route. Guess what's opening up for Rashid Shaheed? More and more catches. You also saw JSN kind of get a little bit loose as the game moved on, getting his second touchdown. And I think it's because these two work well in tandem together. They open things up for the other person. Because of how good JSN has been this year, and he's going to be the offensive player of the year, in my opinion, teams have to double cover him. Well, because teams are double covering him, that leads to Rashid Shaheed being in single coverage, making it easier for the Seahawks to find him open. Well, if teams don't want to let Shaheed beat them deep, now you're seeing more things opening up for JSN and for this guy, by the way. Cooper Kupp, quiet, good performance, getting into the end zone again, and 2 big catches when you needed him most. I was very impressed with the Seahawks wide receiving unit in the second half. First half, not so much. Second half, yeah. I thought this offense finally kind of figured it out and really got it going. Last player that I got to talk about, last player that I want to talk about. You might have the defensive rookie of the year. Nick Emmanwori is unbelievable. To quote the great Dickie V, he's a stat-sheet stuffer, baby. He was unbelievable in this game. Emmanwori was flying around. He had a couple of tackles. He had a pass breakup. He had his first interception as a Seahawk. Oh, by the way, the only reason you were not down, the only reason it wasn't 9-6 at half and it was 6-6 is because Emmanwori came off the edge and blocked a kick. He had a sack in this game. You set him on a blitz, and he lit up Kirk Cousins. Nick Emmanwori is the most freakish player that we've ever seen in Seattle, and we saw Cam Chancellor in Seattle. Nick Emmanwori is so freaking good, and he's so freaking special. This Seahawks team, they can beat you in so many different ways. And when you have a rookie that is quickly jumping up into being one of the scariest players in the National Football League, who can stop you? Nobody. Nobody can stop us. Our defense is lights out. They're Super Bowl worthy. They give the Seahawks plenty of time to let that offense get figured out and get rolling. You think that the Bears are better than Seattle? No. You think that, hey, maybe potentially the Eagles better than Seattle? No. Nobody is better than Seattle. Even the Rams. You lost by 2 points. You had a game-winning field goal attempt at the end, and you still almost beat them despite throwing 4 interceptions. We are the best team in the West. We are the best team in the NFC, and we are the best team in the National Football League. And we still have holes to fill. Julian Love came back, looked good. Jaron Reed caused a fumble. He came back, looked good. Seahawks are only going to get better. Seahawks are only going to get better. Julian Love's going to be able to play more. Jaron Reed's going to be able to play more. I'm sorry that this is turning into an end of the show glaze session, but I don't care. We're the best team, and people need to start treating us like it. I'm tired of only the Ringer noticing that the Seahawks are the best team in the National Football League. And we have the best rookie and the best offensive player. It's so freaking fun. It's so freaking fun. What is your one-word reaction to the Seahawks victory over the Falcons? I'll tell you right now, my one-word reaction is just going to be a simple Demon Worry. Demon Worry. Nick Demon Worry entered the chat today. And man, oh man, is he freaking good. This team is special. Enjoy it. Enjoy the run. That Colts game got a little bit weird. That'll be your next opponent. In Week 16, you better be ready for war. It's Seahawks, and it's Seahawks versus the Rams. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time.